Historians occasionally group Harriet Buswell's tragic death with others perpetrated by Jack the Ripper. But if that's true, Jack took a long break from killing after he murdered her. Christmas morning 1872, Harriet was killed in London. The sequence of events that led to her awful demise started on Christmas Eve. That night, she went to the city's Alhambra dance hall. Once there, she encountered a well-dressed foreign man. Many who witnessed the two of them together later told cops they believed him to be German. Regardless, nobody knew his identity. When she decided to go home with him later that night, she inadvertently sealed her fate. The following morning, Harriet's landlady discovered her lifeless body with multiple cuts to her throat. Despite the gruesome scene, Harriet had a peaceful expression on her face, according to police. Soon, detectives launched a full investigation for justice. In just a few days, it led cops to a German man named Gottfried Hessel, a doctor. Hessel was in London for a few days while preparing to travel the Western Hemisphere. But that's where things turned cold. In those days, forensic science was not as advanced as it is now. To make matters worse, police lacked sufficient evidence to accuse the upstanding doctor. Dr. Hessel was eventually cleared due to his good character and alibi. The alibi in question? It was provided by hotel neighbors who claimed they saw his boots placed outside his hotel room. The boots supposedly indicated he couldn't have left the establishment to commit the murder. There was no word on whether or not Dr. Hessel owned more than one pair of boots. But curiously, the hotel maid testified she had washed several bloodied handkerchiefs from him on the night of the murder. That may seem suspicious to you, but not to London cops. After a brief interrogation, Dr. Hessel was released. After he was loose, London newspapers criticized police for suspecting such an upstanding citizen of committing such a terrible crime. Gradually, the murder faded from the headlines, and in the years after, no one else was ever arrested in connection to Harriet Buswell's tragic case.